Okay, Pat, deliver this line with gravity, as if having an existential crisis, just like Hamlet is right now.
To be. Or not to be.
Good pausing.
That is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing, end them.
Okay, pause there. Now this next part, read it a little more slowly, because Hamlet's thoughts turn darker, and you want to convey that. He switches from being vague to directly talking about death. So go ahead.
To die. To sleep. No more. And by a sleep, to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is here to.
I was just kind of fumbling with the dagger.
'Tis a consumption devouring, to be wished,
You're gonna read this.
to die.
Oh, sorry, I'm going to cut you off there.
Alright.
Now when he repeats this, the beginning of what you just read, when he repeats it again, he really is trying to emphasize it. So say it like a staccato, saying each part emphatically.
Alright.
Go ahead.
To die. To sleep. To sleep.
Alright, so Ian, you
Perchance the dream.
slowly and
Aye.
with an accent.
There's the rub.
Okay, so there he starts to shift focus. He realizes something. So he's arguing with himself, developing why people endure instead of facing death, which he paints as the easier option beforehand. So I think these lines are delivered with more wonder and curiosity.
For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come? When we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. There's the respect that makes calamity of so long life.
Okay, pause here for a second. Say each of these items in the list that's coming up, more and more outraged.
For who would bear the whips and scores of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of disprised love, the law's delay, the insolence of office, and the spurns that patient merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his quietus make his bare bodkin.
Those lines just reinforce this idea that life is busy and full of pain and suffering. At the end, when he posed that question, it's like a subset of the to be or not to be. Good job there. Now, in these next lines, he moves into an answer for the question that he just posed. So he adopts a more explanatory tone. So try to do that.
Who would Fardell's bear to grunt and sweat under a weary life, but that the dread of something after death, the undiscovered country,
You wanna take a.
from whose bourne
We're gonna go back a little bit.
no traveler returns, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have then fly to others that we know not of.
All right. He's just explaining the fear of the unknown, and that's what makes people endure instead of just killing themselves. Now, this next line is Hamlet's big takeaway from his ponderings here. So try to say it like a realization.
Thus conscience does not make cowards of us all, and thus the native hue of resolution is sickly, o'er with the pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great pitch and moment. With this regard, their currents turn awry and lose the name of action.
Okay. Hamlet just commits to taking action, stating that his morals restrict him from completing what he must. Sorry. But with that point, he also has his thoughts like leading astray, and he realizes that it's not helping him accomplish his goals. So he delivers the final lines, switching from a brooding and reflective thing to a more conversational tone.
Soft you now, the fair Ophelia, nymph In the orisons be all my sins remembered.